Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of Five for Talking. We're going to be in tier list land today. We're talking our way too early predictions for the playoffs, coming off the bulk of free agency and re-signings and all of that good stuff, trades. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show. We're going to jump into this tier list and we're going to pick who we think is going to be the top teams of the year without knowing anything. So, jumping into tier list land. Here we go. We have Stanley Cup Finals, legit shot, outside shot, playoff shot, and out. So what we're going to do is one team from each conference will be in Stanley Cup Finals. Three teams from each conference will have legit shot at winning the cup or making it to the finals. The outside shot will be the remainder of the teams we think will make the playoffs. Playoff shot will be the teams fighting for the playoffs, closest teams to making the playoffs without making it, and then out are teams that will have legitimately no shot at all. Caps started off Colorado. I don't think we need to immediately go. So we were doing this thing the other day with Putty and JD tier listing where we started off by like not just immediately throwing people where we think they go, starting at a point and then like moving them around as we go to like better balance it.
Okay. Legit shot.
Okay. Chicago. Do you think they
Playoff
have a
shot.
shot? You think they got a shot at the playoffs? I'm
Yeah, I
not
think they
mad
got
at
a shot.
that. I'm not mad at that at all. I will completely take that. Um, Colombo for me is going to be out.
I wasn't trying to remember some of the stuff that they did in the off season, but I don't think it's enough for them to take that next step.
I don't think so either. I think the Blues are a playoff shot.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think they're going to do better than Chicago. Hey, we got all the new logos here. That's nice. Whoever made this tier list, shout out to you. Uh, the Boston Bruins.
um, they lost Allmark. Who else did they lose? They lost a few people, didn't they?
They did.
I'll give them a legit shot because they always seem to surprise me.
Yeah, they got Lindholm and they got Zadorov, I think.
Huh.
We'll go legit shot. The Montreal Canadiens.
Um, I would say out because I look at the Eastern Conference and I just don't think
They need a goalie.
they need a goalie and they're just not there.
They're worse than Colombo, I think, next year. But I think that's only to their benefit. They're one high draft pick away and a goalie from our being like a legitimately decent team. Um, the Canucks. I think after what we saw last year, we have to just consider the Canucks are a legit contender.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that's fair. We'll keep it like this for now, just so we know how many we have from each conference.
sure.
The Washington Capitals.
What do you think?
I
Because
think
I'm
they're
looking
making the
at
playoffs.
outside shot. Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, outside shot to everyone watching is the teams that will be in the playoffs. Just they're gonna have the worst chance probably to win the cup. New Jersey Devils. You're high on them.
I mean, it can go either way, so I'm going to put them in outside shot.
I'll say outside shot because I don't think they're gonna go from where they were to like a legit Stanley Cup contender at this right away. The Ducks are out. The Ducks are going to be the worst team in the league next year. Nice logo though. I appreciate it.
Still think that San Jose is going to be worse,
Okay, well we'll get there.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
like it's just like it's either them,
I
either.
don't. I'm going to say this. You can argue this out of it if you want. I don't think the Canucks or the Flames even have a shot at the playoffs. They lost their goalie. They lost all their defensemen. They
They lost
lost
the defenseman.
Mangiapane. They're basically just Huberto, Uyghur, and Kadri. That's their whole team at this point.
Huberdeau's not even playing that well.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's fine.
Philadelphia.
Man, like kind of like what they did last year. They had that great start and then they just totally bombed. I just don't think they can.
I'm willing to do
Yeah,
this.
I'm doing a playoff shot. Yeah, I just don't think they can do what they did
They
last year in
lost.
the beginning of the season because later on in the season
Yeah.
is the team that we kind of predicted.
They've drafted decently well. They made smart little moves. They lost Carter Hart, rightfully so. He's clearly a douche. Um, but they did get the Russian goalie. I can't remember his name. That is like one of the higher goalie prospects. He finally came to America and signed. And then they also got the winger that came over and signed from Russia. Finally, they were all like on those deals where they get drafted and then they don't leave Russia right away. Um, so yeah, I think they there's a playoff shot for sure. Vegas. You already know how I feel. I called it before we did this video when we talked about free agency that my bold take is that Vegas is not making the playoffs.
And you want to put them where?
I would put them at a top of playoff shot. But if you think they're going to make the playoffs, I'm willing to put them in outside shot. But there's no way I'm putting them in legit shot. They're not a legit contender.
So Zadorov is gone. They still got on that team. Did they trade Aiden Hill?
They traded Logan Thompson
Logan Thompson.
um to the
I, I'm.
Capitals.
I think this. I think they still are good enough to be an outside shot.
All right. Ahead of Washington,
Yes, I
ahead
just
of
don't think
the Devils.
Washington. No, no.
Okay. Carolina. They
They
didn't
got a
get any
legit.
worse.
Yeah, they're a legit shot. I just don't think they're good enough to win it all.
Yeah, I would keep them here, literally. Um, the Islanders. The Islanders are a really tough one for me because they're definitely not a legit shot, but they're hovering somewhere between getting that last playoff spot and not getting that last playoff spot.
And I would have to agree with you.
I think for now, until we get everything in, we just settle there.
Okay,
Winnipeg.
they should have done more than what they did last year.
I don't know what
Um,
they're doing with this team.
because they're good. They're a good team. It's just I don't. Yeah, this is a tough one.
You willing to put him an outside shot?
I would put them at the top of outside shot.
Okay,
You know,
that's fair. I
because
still think they have a good team.
they
I
still
just
have a good
don't
team.
know 100% what they're going for. I mean, let's see. The Los Angeles Kings.
I don't get this team.
They're in the same position for me as Winnipeg, where they have
Yeah.
some really good pieces. They're a solid team, but this offseason they made such questionable decisions that I don't know. They didn't really get worse, but they definitely didn't get better.
And they should have been a lot better than what they were last year because they just had a lot of ups and downs, and I just don't understand
But
what the
nice new
issue
logo.
is. They reverted back to the old LA Kings logo, right?
Yeah.
Uh, for me, I would put them in the same category as Winnipeg, but
At the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
All right. Seattle. I'll take Seattle as a playoff shot,
yeah.
like somewhere here. They're probably going to be better than Chicago. But they're not going to be great. They're going to be one of those teams that for the whole season, I think is going to be fighting for that spot, but is just never going to get there. You know, like, for a fact, there's no way they're getting there, but they're always going to be in the mix for it.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is an
That
interesting one.
Well, my bold prediction from the Eastern Conference when we did that video was that Tampa Bay is not making the playoffs.
I think they make the playoffs. I just don't think they're up. They're in that upper echelon of teams. Um, so I'm going to put them in the category of outside shot. for me. I don't know
Okay.
what you think. I would like to hear what you
Because
think.
I think they're not going to make the playoffs, I at least want them to be the lowest ranked Eastern team.
Yeah,
They're
I
still
just,
here on in your category. I
yeah.
just think to balance it out, I don't think they're making it. You think they have an outside shot, so they should at least be the lowest ranked Eastern team in outside shot.
So why do you think they're not making it?
I think they lost way too many pieces. I think you're relying far too heavily on Jake Gensel to have a career best season,
Mhm.
and your defensive core is like torn apart. You don't have Sergachev anymore. You're trying to figure out what you're gonna do with your veteran D man. What's his name? They got McDonough back. Like I don't know. You don't have Stamkos. You don't have Palat anymore since he left. You don't have the other guy. Can't remember his name that went to Seattle 2 years ago. They're in a weird predicament. I
Yeah,
just if Vasilevsky has to play like 82 games for them to make the playoffs, I think.
yeah. I mean, he did have that injury in the first part of the season. They still did enough with to make the playoffs. I mean, you still got Hedman, you got Kucherov, you got Brendan
You have
Point,
Hedman, Kucherov, Point. That's basically your team, and then
yeah.
you're banking on Gensel.
And we don't even know how that's going to turn out. If there's no chemistry there, that might be like end up
He
being one of the
also
worst
struggles to stay healthy.
conditions. Sorry,
He also always struggles to stay healthy.
yeah,
That's fine. I'm not here to be like no, because I also think Vegas won't make the playoffs.
yeah.
But I listen, we have to agree on this, so I think we're fair there. Um, I mean, I don't want to. I know what they can't be. They can't be a legit shot. They're probably like here.
I think they're better than Winnipeg. I think they're like at the top of outside shot.
Yeah,
They're going to
that's
make the
fair
playoffs. It's just they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. Sorry.
because at least for now, like we'll balance it out again, like we said, but we have to get there first. I
Yeah.
think the Oilers, given what they did last year, have to be like arguably a legit shot. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
Or like maybe they're in the Leaf zone.
No, 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 no. You know what separates them from the Leafs is
Connor
that
McDavid.
other than that, is that they win series,
Yeah, that's true.
and the Leafs have just one in the last 20 years. It's like
Yeah.
that's what separates the two. And yes, I legit shot for Edmonton.
All right.
Toronto, yeah,
I'm gonna go out of
Florida.
my way and say just do this.
Um, I mean they. I
Two
mean they're
years
a
in a row, I'm
14
pretty sure they're gonna go back this year. Like, I mean, they might not, but like, if we're looking at this from how far away we are right now, we don't know anything.
We
This is
don't.
just us throwing darts at a board.
They've lost some players, but I don't think it's enough for them to be taken out of the Stanley Cup Finals or making it the Stanley Cup Finals for the third time, because I think they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
I think we're both gonna agree here that Pittsburgh is a playoff shot, I guess. I don't think you can just say no, but I mean, they're not good.
I think they're like at the top of the playoff spot. Um,
I would say I
because
think the Islanders have a better chance than them because at least the Islanders have two good goalies.
yeah, the only problem is that Pittsburgh has Sidney Crosby.
That's true, but they're pretty old at this point. It's not to take away from Sidney Crosby, but can he do all of that on his own still? We will see.
We will see.
Um, okay, you're gonna call me fucking insane here. I think
No,
Nashville is
no,
going to the
no,
finals.
no, no. I think they have a legit shot. I think that's a little too premature, to be honest. That was my going to be my pick. If Langeskog comes back next year, Colorado's in the finals. That's my
Okay.
my
I'm not going to argue that. Like, come on.
because
We know where how we feel. But
yeah,
I'm going to keep Nashville here.
I no that's totally fine. Um, and as they should be. They got one of the better goalies in the NHL. They've made they brought in two first liners and a top defenseman, like to take minutes away from Yossi to make him that much more effective. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like they're. I got to give kudos to Barry Trotz, man. That guy is like he was one of the top coaches in the NHL, and now
He
he's
knows what
probably
he's
turning
doing,
into one.
man.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's
I
doing.
wish the Leafs got him, man. I really,
Yeah.
yeah, but Mike Babcock, right? Um, I'm gonna go like this. You tell me how you feel about that.
I feel that that is correct.
Yeah, so do I. Also, I think Carolina's better than Boston. I think Edmonton's probably going to be better than Boston.
Yeah.
Detroit has no chance, not even for making the playoffs. I don't think they're probably the best of these teams, but they made so many questionable moves this year. Steve Eiserman seems like he forgot how to put together a team.
Um, I just don't know if I just don't know if Seattle and Chicago are better than Detroit. That's my thing. But I am willing to give you that. Let's see what happens.
Buffalo. If I was just doing this on like guessing on my own, I would say Buffalo's like here.
I mean, you know, you go into the season thinking this is the year that Buffalo makes it back into the playoffs, but they just it's them and another team that's coming up that just seems to let us down, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah.
go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead.
Can I have this? I think that Ottawa's going to be like here. I don't think that maybe they're not going to make the playoffs. I listen, I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I know you're not going to agree with me, so I'm willing to settle for there.
They got Allmark, right?
Yeah.
It's an improvement from Capasalo.
They got quite a few pieces.
They got
They
quite a few
don't
pieces.
they don't look awful. In my opinion, I thought they had one of the better off seasons, even though a lot of the big pundits put them as like losers at the thing. And I know the Allmark trade they kind of lost because they had to give up extra just to dump the contract from Corpusalo. But
Sometimes you got to do what you got to
yeah,
do. I mean, I guess this is the reason why we're doing this early. I don't know about them. I just don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to let you have that
thank you. That's very nice of you.
because I have no idea what to expect from them.
All right, I'll give you this. Even though I think the circle of life here, the way the
Circle of
NHL,
life.
the way the NHL functions, okay? So you got Montreal, right? You had to take care of the big dog. Then the next year you gave it to Chicago because you had to take care of the big dog. Then you're like, okay, finally San Jose, you'll get your first overall generational pick. And now this year coming, I think it's going to be Anaheim. Because it will never be Columbus or Calgary in my eyes. The NHL will never consider them as like, I know it's all rigged. They're never going to be like, hey, Calgary, it's time for Calgary and Columbus to get that guy. No, next year's going to be Anaheim for sure. Um, anyways, I'm done with my conspiracy theories. Dallas Stars. So I
I
think
think,
there's a no doubter
yeah.
for here. I think that they either are here or here, and I think a Western team has the best shot if it's not Florida out of those teams. But we have to drop somebody down now. So either Colorado, Vancouver, or the Oilers have to go down to outside shot.
Sorry, so someone from the West has to go down, right?
Yeah. By the way, we're not taking into account 3 teams from each division or anything. We're just placing the teams in order of best shot.
Uh, someone from the West, Vancouver.
You drop them down
Yeah.
ahead of the Leafs, though, definitely.
Yeah.
I think with the moves that they've made a lot of smart moves, and this always happens when the NHL introduces a new team or moves a team. They have a really good season. So I'm gonna say, will you give me this at least? That Utah's gonna have like they're gonna get close to making the playoffs.
Um, yeah, I'll give you that. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but yeah.
Minnesota. I'm really iffy on them. I'll let you take that.
Playoff shot. Playoff
Uh,
shot, and
They're
I
probably
think
better than Chicago and them. They're probably a little bit better than Buffalo.
I'm willing to put them above Philadelphia.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go ahead of Pittsburgh.
All right. But it's
It's way
like
too early.
it's way too early, and some of these teams, and the summer is still not over. Like there could be additional signings, trades, whatever the case may be before the season starts, and changes that can change the whole trajectory of this ranking.
So heads
But
up
as of
for the viewers and for you as well, Caps. But we will be like this video is probably going to come out close to a week after we post this. So I'm sure after we film this, so I'm sure stuff is going to have happened. But I'll give you a couple of the names still available on free agency that are worth thinking about. Mike Hoffman, Dennis Gurianov. These are forwards. Kublik, Kevin LeBlanc, Max Pacioretty, James Van Riemsdyk, Blake Wheeler, Yamamoto, and Philip Zadina. That's forwards. So there's still some guys out there, depending, especially if they're willing to take friendly contracts, those guys will help you. On defense, you have Tyson Berry, Tony DeAngelo, Alex Goligoski, John Klingberg, Justin Schultz, Kevin Shattenkirk, and then you have a couple old guys like Giordano, Stahl. You have Dermott that's questionable whether anyone should ever let him play hockey again. And then in net you have Ranta and Martin Jones, I guess. If Martin Jones could be a good backup for someone if he's willing to take a really big pay cut. And Antti Ranta is like one of the best career backup goalies of this generation. So I mean, there's still options out there.
still options, still good depth pieces that can push some of these teams that are like outside shot into the legit shot. I mean that's just the way it is. It's a bit of a stretch, but um, you know, to the way it looks right now, I mean, this I'm pretty content with this. But we'll probably do this again before the season starts, or maybe just after the season starts, and then it might be completely different, with the exception of maybe the Stanley Cup Finals.
We're
But
definitely going to keep track of this. Uh, we will do another tier list of these rankings right before the season starts. Which will have a lot more information by that time of how and the way that things will play out. So
are we doing this before preseason or just after preseason
we'll
before
do
the
it like
season
right
starts?
before the season starts. So like the
Cool.
weekend before the everything kicks off. So guys, thank
Yeah.
you for watching. Let us know what you think. Let us know what team you think will win the cup. Let us know what team you think is going to come in last place. Thank you for watching, and have a good time.